Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrek. Big shout out to all the iTrek fan, man, that is tapping in from all across the globe, man. It's big shout out to Boston and Chi-Town, man. I've been seeing you guys tap in. And big shout out to the chat. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already a part of the iTrek fan, man. And smash that hype button for me. Now let's not even waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it.
Music labels just changed forever. The world's first AI record label is here, and it's pretty insane. It's called Higgsfield Records, and their debut star isn't even human at all. It's Keon, a fully AI-generated K-pop idol. No singer, no dancer, just AI. And their tagline, you don't need talent anymore. Your face is enough. Here's how it works. First, you upload a selfie. Then, their AI systems will build a digital double of you. Lip sync, motion, and effects are all automated and built in. And now anyone can become an idol without ever needing to step into a studio. And the potential here is huge. The AI music industry is already worth $2.9 billion and projected to be worth $12 billion by 2031. Higgsfield is betting big that the next superstar might not even be human at all. So is this the future of music, or is it the end of human artistry? Drop your take in the comments and follow me if you want to stay ahead of AI's craziest moves, because right now is just the beginning.
I mean, at this point, it's hard to say that it won't happen, but I just feel like there's some kind of nostalgia when you're watching a real person go from nothing to something. Now, when you see an AI artist come out of nowhere and just start to blow up because you can manufacture like great music, I'm not so sure that's sustainable. Or is it? Let me know what you think.
Believe that our souls and our bodies are two separate things. Mm-hmm. And where does our soul live if it's not living inside of me? Mm-hmm. So like, where is Robin?
Mm. So I believe that, you know, whether you want to call it the universe, consciousness, collective consciousness, Godhead, cosmic soup, the word for it isn't important. There's somewhere that energy goes and it still exists in some form. And if you believe in reincarnation, then you may believe that it then enters another body as a vessel and, you know, has a different life.
Now, we definitely had that conversation on the last video, and the overwhelming response was if we had the open opportunity to make our own decision about reincarnation, we're definitely not coming back unless we can choose what kind of life we can live. Because at this point, all we know is it's a gamble. I mean, you could come back in a third world country, or you can come back rich.
Can't let myself be part of that. I don't want to be identified anymore. I already have plans to change my appearance significantly in December. And then I'm leaving the United States, brother. I am fully engaged in relocating and emigrating with my family, finding one of those safe havens around the world where we can just plug in and become part of a community, become part of a globe, understand and raise my children as global citizens who are American rather than American citizens who reject the globe. One issue that I can't get past is just the willful ignorance, the civil breakdown, the idea that we can't reach out to our neighbor, the fact that we don't know what's going on in the world. Like, this is an American phenomenon for sure. As we distract ourselves, willingly allow ourselves to become more and more complacent, more and more apathetic to what's happening in the world, this abundance that our previous generations worked so hard for that we're wasting right now. I can't let myself be part of that. So I can continue to teach the people who are willing to learn, but there's no reason for me to do that within the confines of the United States.
Where are you going to go and when are you going to go?
Or is that classified?
So I'm not going to tell really anybody where. 2026.
2026?
Yeah. So
Next year.
Yeah, next year. So I already have plans to change my appearance significantly in December. And then if we have everything lined up appropriately, then we'll be leaving the country by spring of next year.
Why change your appearance?
Because I don't want to be identified anymore. But I don't have to be the guy that looks like this all the time anymore. I've changed my appearance before.
So you're going to shut down the YouTube channel and all those things?
No, I think what I'm probably going to do is only start serving my audience. My audience won't care what I look like. My audience won't care if I teach them from behind an animated AI image of myself, right? But I can continue to teach without having to be the CIA guy with the hair.
So it sounds like to me the CIA finally got tired of him sharing the inner workings of what they got going on, and they said, hey, either you got to stop or you will be stopped. And as we see, it sounded like he chose to leave the country, so we know what's going on.
You should not visit the dark web. People think going on the dark web is as simple as loading up the Tor browser on Windows and calling it a day. The reality is you simply won't know where to go. You can load up the Tor browser and go to google.com. It doesn't mean you're on the dark web. Not to mention, Windows simply doesn't have the privacy and security to be able to safely go on the dark web. You should really use something like Tails Linux or Unix, which requires knowledge of how to flash an ISO file on a thumb drive and boot from live media. It's not very simple for a newbie. Once you're on Tor, you don't want to just start plugging away onion links. You want to make sure you turn JavaScript off, or else executable JavaScript can wreak havoc on your system. You think you're safe on Tor, but your ISP is going to see that you're using Tor, and it's going to raise a red flag. Not to mention if you use a VPN, especially one based in the United States, all of your logs and encrypted data is going to be easy pickings for law enforcement. Most of you simply don't have the operational security know-how to stay safe on Tor and the dark web, so just don't do it.
Meta-analysis of 5 studies found that SSRIs was associated with a 75% increase risk of dementia, which is pretty staggering.
Given that 25% of the adult American population is on psychiatric drugs, it's horrifying. And SSRIs for the right people save lives. For the wrong people, they're not good. But can you imagine all of these 340 million prescriptions last year for antidepressants? Virtually no one looked at their brain ahead of time.
What happens after death? Are they around us? Are they?
One of the ways that I like people to look at someone's passing, and it's very helpful for kids. So I tell people, if you take a child into the kitchen and you put a pot on the stove and you say, when you're born, here's your body. Here's the pot. That's your body.
Yeah.
Then the universe or God pours your soul into the body.
Okay.
That's the water. So you put water into the pot.
Okay.
And then you turn the stove on and you show them the flame and you go, and that's the sun, because the sun makes everything possible, right?
Yeah.
They learned that in school. Over a period of time, that water is going to boil, and then what?
Oh, it evaporates.
And where does it go?
Into that. Oh, yes. Oh, what a great analogy.
It goes into the air. And where's the air?
Oh, all around us.
All around you. And it helps kids understand the concept of death.
Okay.
Because now it takes whoever it is that they've lost from being in that far, far away place that I can't get to. That makes everybody so sad, to bringing the love closer.
You know what? I always felt the same way. It's pretty obvious that our bodies are just shells, containers. And the better you take care of it, the longer it will last. Plain and simple.
I will ask people, do you know what Einstein won his Nobel Prize for? He was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1923. And most people will say either relativity or E equals MC squared.
Right.
But in fact, he won his Nobel Prize for the work that he did to articulate and quantify the photoelectric effect.
And the photoelectric effect, again, can you explain that just briefly one more time?
In the very simplest of terms, it is the process by which light becomes electricity.
Right.
He also, in that paper, defines light as part particle and part wave. So you can see the particles of light striking certain materials like selenium or cesium, and that causes a disturbance in the electron orbits of those atoms that causes electrons to spin out, and from that you can create an electrical current.
Are there still residual checks coming in from Malcolm, a network TV show that happened 20 years ago?
Give me more chips! Get your own, doofus! I want more chips! Here!
Yes, I still get residuals not every day, but all the time. It used to be they used to come in checks, right? So like I have a post mailbox and I'd go and pull out, it's that big. I put it in my sack. No, literally there would be like stacks of checks. From movies, video. Yeah. Did you do video games? I did some. Yeah, I did a few. But they could be for, what I thought was the funniest thing. You'd get a residual check for 9 cents, but they mailed it with a check that cost more than 9 cents with a stamp that cost 60 cents. It made no sense. But or they could be huge ones. But like it was really kind of fun because you had no idea what was going to come. But because I handle all my own finances and all my stuff, I would literally have to sign the back and put it in my QuickBooks and bring it to the bank and bring the stack of checks to the bank and it was like Christmas every day, right? where now it all gets direct deposited.
And Malcolm comes in from all over the world.
Yeah, so you get one foreign check, which will be every country outside of the U.S., and then you get stuff from the U.S.
And the interesting thing about those pay scales is that they slowly dry up over time. They don't last forever unless you're doing like real big movies and you're part of that back end. Kind of like everybody that did Fast and Furious. Those guys are super rich.
People tell you who they are. You just have to listen. Everybody tells you exactly if you're supposed to be with them or not. They tell you. You just have to listen. Their body language, certain that they say, they let you know. Listen, don't with me. I'm bad for you. You just have to listen to that. You give people the benefit of the doubt. You try to believe that they're going to be a good person, and you try to believe that this has your best interest at heart, and
then it
fails every time. They tell you with the body language or with their words or whatever if you should with them or not. And it's your fault if you keep pushing with that certain.
Man, that's one of those forever gems, man. He wasn't lying.
1 month before a stroke, your body gives you signs, but most people ignore them. A stroke doesn't always hit out of nowhere. Sometimes, your body tries to warn you weeks in advance. So what should you be watching for? 1. Sudden, unexplained headaches. We're not talking regular stress headaches. These feel different. They can come on fast and hit hard, even waking you up at night. 2. Blurry vision or seeing double, especially in one eye. If your eyesight randomly goes wonky, don't ignore it. That could mean your brain isn't getting enough blood. 3. Numbness or tingling in your face, arms, or legs, especially on one side. If one hand feels heavy or your smile looks uneven in the mirror, that's a serious red flag. 4. Trouble speaking or understanding simple stuff. Mixing up your words, slurring speech, or not making sense that's not just being tired. That's your brain struggling. 5. Dizziness or losing balance for no reason. If you feel like the room is spinning or you're about to fall, even while sitting, your brain might not be getting enough oxygen. 6. Sudden fatigue or brain fog. If you're feeling extra slow, out of it, or confused for no reason, don't brush it off. Even if these signs come and go, don't wait. Mini strokes, or TIAs, often show up first and then lead to the real deal.
This is a test that allows doctors to determine whether or not a person has a brain tumor. You see, there's a part of the brain that allows you to produce rapid alternating movements that is done in a smooth and coordinated fashion. If a person is not able to do these things in a smooth fashion, then that might be a warning sign that more testing is needed. Now, tumors will only manifest if they are impacting a specific structure. For example, if it's compressing the motor cortex, it's going to result in weakness in the opposite side of the body. If it's compressing the part of the brain that is producing speech, it's going to result in an inability to produce speech. In this case, that test will assess the function of these structures, which is called the cerebellum, and it can allow for coordination in a smooth fashion. Now, somebody can do these tests and still have a brain tumor if it's not causing a significant amount of mass effect, so the cerebellum is able to kind of accommodate for this space-occupying mass. But it's when somebody can't do these tests, that's when we start getting concerned, which then tells us that there's got to be some sort of problem with the cerebellum if they can't coordinate their movements properly, and then we need to do some more imaging. It's also possible for a tumor to continue to grow completely unnoticed until one day the space just gets so tight that the brain is no longer able to accommodate that space-occupying mass. Test it out for yourself. See how well you're able to coordinate these movements.
Let me make sure that I'm good to go. Let me just make sure. And you should be doing it too.
You really think that it's our brain that produces thoughts? Why is it that with the same brain, right? Same neurological structure, but we have different ideas? And why is it that I have so many ideas and others have limited ideas? Well, like biologically, we cannot explain it, okay? We've never explained it. So if you study neuroscience, one thing that they will never ever ask is, where do our thoughts come from? Which is weird because that should be the most basic question, right? That's the first question you ask, but they never ask that. Why? Because they cannot answer it. And the answer, the possibility is that Geist exists, and our ideas come from the Geist. And when we think of ideas, it goes back into the Geist, right? It's a ghost. It is with us and it is not with us.
Why was Bill Gates at that dinner tonight sitting right next to President Trump? That's what everyone is wondering. And why wasn't Elon Musk there? If you didn't know, President Trump hosted a dinner tonight for all of the US tech leaders in the United States, and everyone was there except for Elon Musk. Sitting next to Trump was Mark Zuckerberg, on the other side was his wife Melania, and then the big story, Bill Gates. The reason I say it's a big story is because there was a clip of him talking and it went viral and it raised a lot of controversy. He said he's in talks with Trump about vaccine and gene editing. He explained that the goal is to take American innovation to the next level with hopes of curing and even eradicating most diseases. Gates says that his work will change the world.
And my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing. And the president and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases. He mentioned polio, which is one that we're close.
Maybe it's just me, but there's just a certain level of distrust when it comes to Bill Gates for some reason.
Lady Gaga just released an extremely creepy and demonic music video, and it contains hundreds of baby dolls. Some appear to be decapitated, haunted, dancing, whatever the heck is going on. And at first glance, you may recognize where this music video is being recorded, and it actually has a very dark history. If you've seen my videos on Lady Gaga before, you know that her music videos and music itself has a lot of symbolism. This is recorded in the island of the Dolls, located in Mexico. There's no electricity here, no concrete buildings, no running water, just thousands of haunted dolls. Story has it there was a little girl who drowned, and a man named Don Julian unsuccessfully tried to save her in 1950, but he swears he could hear her cry for years and years after. Some say that he would find new dolls appearing outside, which I don't believe, and some say for 17 years after he would hang up dolls trying to ward off the evil spirits. Eventually, in 2001, he was found dead in the same canal that she was. As of 2022, the Guinness World Records recognized this place as the largest haunted doll collection in the world. The real question is, why the heck would Lady Gaga record a music video in this place?
Now, when it comes to stunts like this, I'm generally very quick to say it's shock value. But you know, shock value is for people who need the attention. Lady Gaga is actually talented, so I'm not sure it's for shock value. I think she has some other things going on, and I think she's making it pretty clear what she's up to. But let me know what you think. And let's be clear, when I say shock value, I'm just referring to one of the 48 Laws of Power, which is also a good book you got to read. It's basically garnering attention by any means and transmuting that attention into the energy that's going to benefit you. So, you know, definitely strange stuff going on.
Brown had gained international attention for creating Plastiline, a solar-powered reactor that uses microwave pyrolysis to convert plastic waste into usable fuels like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. The breakthrough invention positioned him as a rising figure in grassroots innovation. Before going silent, Brown shared an alarming video with his 1.8 million followers. In it, he claimed he was being threatened, hinted that he was under surveillance, and warned viewers to record the message. He described unusual activity around his home, including what he believed to be a helicopter monitoring him. Soon after, his accounts went offline, sparking rumors that he had either gone into hiding or been silenced.
This is the first picture the world has ever seen where Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un are all together. And the significance of this gathering cannot be understated. Today, we witness China put on the largest military parade in their history. All major roads were closed, schools were shut down, and they even had weeks of midnight rehearsals and security preparations to make sure that today went off without a hitch. One by one, world leaders started arriving, most of which are the names that you would expect, like Kim, Putin, etc. In fact, for good old Kim, it took him 20 hours just to get to China, because he got there on his infamous slow armored bulletproof train, traveling between only 45 and 80 kilometers an hour. However, also attending were world leaders that in the past few decades, they lent more to the West, like Turkey, Egypt, and Vietnam. In fact, no Western leaders attended apart from two. We're looking at you, Serbia and Slovakia. And when Donald Trump saw that Putin, Kim, and Xi were having a 2.5-hour private closed-door meeting, he tweeted this: "May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States." Now, it wasn't just what they spoke about that will be of concern of Western leaders watching. It'll also be the new weapons that China unveiled. These included new powerful laser weapons capable of taking out swarms of drones, burning electronics, or even blinding pilots, new nuclear ballistic missiles with a range capable of striking US mainland, giant underwater unmanned drones, and also a number of weapons which display China's heavy investment in the future of warfare, including drones, smart tanks, AI-assisted weaponry, and of course, even robot dogs. In fact, today on Chinese social media, all of the top searches were about the parade and its weapons, including the fourth one talking about their new ICBMs having the striking range that covers the entire world. But for Xi Jinping, what means more than showing off new weaponry is showing off a new world order, one that challenges the West and its allies, but also one where China is positioned right in the center. In fact, in Xi's speech overlooking the military parade, he said, "The rise of the Chinese nation is unstoppable. Strength may prevail for a time, but over the long arc of history, it's reason that wins." So the question is Donald Trump's foreign policy pushing these countries together to strengthen their relations? Or was what we saw today inevitable and would have happened no matter who was in office?
I mean, can't we all just get along? Can we figure it out? You know, let's take some time to just figure it out. That's all I'm saying.
Google Vault 7, it will knock your socks off. There was a CIA computer engineer named Joshua Schulte. He was apparently a disgruntled engineer. He didn't like his boss. He didn't like his coworkers. They didn't like him. So he just downloaded the crown jewels of the Directorate of Science and Technology and sent it all to WikiLeaks in 2017. He revealed that the CIA has developed technologies to, for example, remotely take over your car by hacking into the chip. Why would the CIA want to take over your car? To make you drive off a bridge, maybe? They developed technology to reverse your smart TV to make the speaker into a microphone with the TV still appearing to be off, so you don't know that it's broadcasting everything that's being said in your house to CIA headquarters. They were able to hack into other countries' most sensitive technological systems and to leave little scraps of code, but the scraps of code are written in Russian. So people say, oh, the fucking Russians hacked into us. Actually, it was us.
Mike secretly picked up Xi telling Putin and Kim how to live to 150, and it's so much weirder than imaginable. During Beijing's World War II parade, when the leaders of China, Russia, and North Korea were walking out side by side, a nearby microphone got too close and was able to pick up on the three leaders' conversation. It started out pretty tame, with them discussing how advancements in modern medical technology is making it common for people to live to old age, with 70 years old now even considered a relatively easy age to achieve, despite it being rare just a few decades ago. Then the conversation took a turn when Xi stated in Mandarin that he can see how with the current trend of advancements in biotechnology, where organs can be continuously transplanted, allowing people to live younger and younger, it could lead to the possibility of achieving immortality in the near future. Then Putin gave a response that couldn't be well heard, but Xi followed up by saying that, quote, "Predictions are this century there's also a chance of living to 150.
Might be more sinister than it looks. Some fans believe the toy's mischievous grin resembles that of Pazuzu, the demon featured in The Exorcist. Now, conspiracy theorists are suggesting that The Simpsons predicted Laboo's rise, and possibly its cursed nature after the resurfacing of a clip in which Homer receives a cursed statue.
It's here! Maggie's first Pazuzu! Your father ordered this because... Why did you order this?
I thought it was pizza. Originally introduced in 2015 in Lung's illustrated book, The Monsters, Laboo was inspired by European fairy tales. Its quirky design, featuring wide eyes, sharp teeth, and a mischievous smile, became a cultural phenomenon when Pop Mart launched Blind Box Toys in 2019. In another clip, she's again seen sprinting through the corridor, clearly terrified, shouting for assistance, yet the hallway remains empty.
Somebody help me, please.
The story deepens when days later staff at the hotel review the CCTV footage. Shared by TikTok user Forever Flow, the recordings show Aria's bizarre behaviour in shocking detail. She runs into the elevator, presses herself against the wall, ducks out of sight, yet strangely, the doors never close.
It's like she acting like she's running from something or hiding from something, but there's literally nobody else in the frame.
She appears spooked, then bolts out of the elevator and vanishes down the hall.
These are crazy superpowers that some humans have. So many people, commonly East Asian, have a gene called ABCC11 that results in a lack of body odor, mainly from the underarm, leading to them not having to wear deodorant. Perhaps cooler than this, though, is a swath of people who lack the PCSK9 gene because it allows you to virtually eat however you want without raising your bad cholesterol level. Just 40 people on Earth have golden blood, which is significantly more universal than even O, as it can effectively be used on anybody. Unfortunately, though, they can only receive a blood transfusion from about 9 people because it's difficult to receive compatible blood. The Moken people of Thailand and Malaysia have crystal clear underwater vision from training their eyes over time and adapting the shape when they go underwater, and they're found to have twice the performance level of a European. Many Afrikaners have a mutation of the SOST gene, which gives them unusually dense bones that prevents osteoporosis and certain injuries, while other humans have a mutation of the DEC2 gene, which allows them to function on 4 or less hours of sleep. And finally, there's a good amount of people out there with myostatin mutations, which allow them to work out just a few times per month and have extreme muscular development. So if you have any of these, that's pretty cool.
Well, it looks like I missed the boat on each and every one of those. But if you were lucky enough to catch one of them, let me know.
Someone gives you a gift and you don't take it, who does that gift belong to? And he was like, well, it belongs to them. And he was like, exactly. She wanted to give me the gift of anger. I didn't take it. That anger stays with her. And it's such a powerful way of thinking on when other people try to bully you or make you feel guilty or make fun of you for doing something and you choose not to take on whatever those feelings are that they're trying to push on you. Guess what? They get to keep those feelings. And having that power, having that confidence, I think is all the difference in the world. And when you can think of it like that, total game changer.
What are you talking about? The universe only says yes. That seems crazy. The universe has said no to me a whole bunch of times. And they're like, no, no, no. The universe only says yes. In fact, your power is the power of thought. And so a number of people materialize or manifest a set of thoughts that are negative. I can't channel. I can't listen to any of
You share 50% of your DNA with bananas, and that's not even the weirdest part. We also share 60% of our genes with fruit flies, 90% with cats, and 96% with chimpanzees. This means all life on Earth is built from the same basic genetic recipe book. The genes you share with bananas control fundamental processes like cellular energy and protein production. Evolution essentially took the same starter kit and remixed it into billions of different life forms. The difference between you and a banana isn't the genes themselves, but how they're arranged and expressed. We're all just different versions of the same biological software running on different hardware. So next time someone calls you bananas, just tell them they're being scientifically accurate.
Or I guess technically if somebody catches you eating a banana, you're a cannibal.
Be careful with who you let into your space. Especially when you're doing well in life, a lot of people are going to hate, and they're going to hate silently. Also, when you're working constantly, when you have a high output, high frequency of daily work, daily conquest, training, doing everything you can to get the most out of every day, you don't want people around you who aren't on that level because they will drag you down. Be very careful who you let into your inner circle, man or woman. And young men out there, I don't care how pretty she is, she could potentially ruin your life if she's a toxic person and she feels inclined to make false allegations. Yeah. Men, especially in the West, need to be hyper cautious of who they let into their inner circle.
Happening is the more we use technology, the more our mind becomes weakened in terms of focusing. And that's literally what we see. So what does technology do? The first thing that it does is it diffuses our attention. So we love technology because it concentrates our attention for a little while, right? So when I'm like watching a fantastic TikTok about like a cat meowing in a really cute way, my mind becomes completely one-pointed on that. So over time, what we're actually doing is the mind becomes weakened because the one-pointedness is triggered by a sensory experience. So I'd say that like forcing your mind to focus is hard. Getting it to focus automatically is really easy. But the more that I take the elevator, the weaker my legs get. So what's happening is the more we use technology, the more our mind becomes weakened in terms of focusing. And that's literally what we see. If we look at increases in anxiety, increases in depression, increases in loneliness, literally we have a society of people that cannot control their attention. What they hate more than anything else is boredom. And everything is boring except for TikTok. And the moment that you lose control of your attention, then if you have anxious thoughts, you cannot rein them in. The moment you have depressive thoughts, so then what happens is like, I can't control my attention. So if I start to think anxious thoughts, start to think depressive thoughts, I go down a rabbit hole of that kind of stuff. The only way I can get out of it is to watch another TikTok. So what we're sort of seeing is like addiction to technology, because there's a weakening of our attentional capability. And then if we're not using the technology, we're suffering. And the only antidote we have is this. So we turn to this again, and then we get weaker and weaker and weaker. And we're really hitting like a critical state here, which is why we have like, mental health epidemiology. There's like global pandemics of loneliness, suicidality, anxiety, depression, all these things are getting really bad. And I think it's due to this fundamental attentional loss.
They're manipulating our reality?
Yes. But because,
and then watching?
And because your reality is already being manipulated on the bad side by the bad ETs. They're adjusting the reality so that that level of manipulation is revealed and you see it.
Okay, I just want to put that out there. I still don't. I
And
don't
then,
like them.
and then
I don't trust them.
their goal at that point, when the reality that you're in is revealed, they back off, and they say, now you have to make a decision of where you want to go with this.
I think a good way to look at this whole phenomena is the way that you would look at just watching Star Trek.
In all my years of living, I have never seen nothing like this in my life. What is this? I'm gonna thank every tree doing this now. I thought that was the wind blowing the pans or something, the little pan cone things. Nah, fam. Look at, nah.
What are those? And what is that? If you know, let me know in the comments, because I've never seen that either.
Jellyfish is the worst pet I've ever seen.
Wow,
Well,
yeah.
you can buy a jellyfish tank. It's like a circular tank. It's just nothing. It's just like having boba tea as a pet. What's the most expensive animal that we could find at the LA Pet Fair? I'm gonna give you number 2 on a platter.
Okay.
And then I want you to guess number 1. The second most expensive animal that we could find at the LA Pet Fair was a zebra foal for $9,500.
What the hell is a zebra foal?
What exactly is that?
What?
Is that a zebra?
Yes.
Wait, so it's legal to trade zebra in California?
$9,500. You can buy them on the spot.
Wow.
Things I wish I never learned. Cockroaches can and do eat human fingernails, eyelashes, and dead skin, especially when you're asleep in dirty environments. Air hand dryers in public bathrooms can blast shit particles all over your freshly washed hands by sucking in the bathroom air. Instead of toilet paper, ancient Romans used a communal sponge on a stick. Everyone shared it. After wiping, it was rinsed in a bucket of salty or vinegary water and left for the next person. The average kitchen sponge has more shit bacteria on it than your toilet seat. Did you know you have tiny mites living on your face right now? They're called demodex, and they come out at night while you're asleep to crawl around, eat your skin oils, and mate on your face. They don't even have assholes, so all their waste builds up until they explode when they die. Good night.
You know what? She was wrong for that. She was really wrong for that, because that's the kind of marinating I don't want to do. I don't want to sit and think about what could be crawling on my face when I'm sleeping, man. Let me know what you think.
I am an outdoorsy man. Love nature. But I ain't never seen a spider web look like this. Like, what the f*** is that? Is that even a spider web? Yeah, it's a funnel spider. That shit looks like gel. Has anyone else ever seen anything like this? I know I haven't.
Last week I warned you that a plan was in motion to turn every dash cam into a roaming spy camera for the government. Well, it's worse than we thought because that network has just been hacked. According to a new report from 404 Media, a hacker has broken into Nexar, the dash cam company, and accessed terabytes of video from inside people's cars. The hacker shared the footage. It shows a parent soothing a baby, a man on a private FaceTime call, and in one of the most shocking clips, a driver heading directly to the CIA headquarters. Other images show cars entering the same Air Force base that houses B-2 stealth bombers. The hacker who did it told 404 Nexar is an absolute absolute privacy nightmare. Their security is embarrassing. I was able to do it in 2 hours or so.
Remember the solar eclipse that happened in 2017?
Yes.
The news are like, hey, make sure you wear the right sunglasses because they sell fake sunglasses, and don't stare at the sun for too long.
Yeah, they fry your eyes.
The warnings this time are make sure you have gas in your car.
What?
Make sure you have at least 2 to 3 weeks of food and water. Make sure you know where your family's at, so if you need to contact them, make sure you have an AM FM radio.
Have a printable map.
Oh, and they issued the National Guard to be in these cities during the eclipse.
Get your chickens.
There's a couple theories. One of my theories is that we're going to experience something catastrophic again, like this Earth opening up.
Yeah.
Another theory is that with the increase of people crossing our borders, there's going to be such a concentration of people out in the open that there's going to be an attack on them. Russia is going to launch that EMP attack.
Yeah.
And then that's why all these billionaires are building bunkers.
Oh, jeez. Everybody hurry! Go Rule King!
Chickens, come on, reproduce!
But I'm not saying that to scare anyone, but I'm scared.
Death, am I right, guys?
Death into the world. Yeah, so I mean, come on.
Something we like to say at my house is like, if everywhere you go, everyone has the same problem, then the problem might be you. And if everyone is just rude to you and can't get along with you, and maybe you have the problem.
And you know, it kind of takes a special skill and a lot of self-awareness to realize this. If you're walking into a bunch of different environments and the majority of people are saying the same thing, there has to be something to it, you know? There has to be.
Man decided to drop a GoPro in this massive cave when he makes a horrifying discovery. An outdoorsman named Jason was hiking through the wilderness with friends and family when he comes across this massive hole in the middle of nowhere. Since there's nothing guarding the area, Jason wants to see what's down there, so he drops down a camera and a fishing line. What he sees is something from a nightmare.
There's something on the bottom. I can't make it out, but it looks like maybe a coyote or something. I'm going to slow it down for a minute, but doesn't that look like a coyote right there? It's really hard to tell. Here it comes back in the screen again, but boy, that sure looks like a dog to me down there at the bottom. Okay, what in the hell is this? Now watch. Ready? Wait. Did you see that? That is a face. This thing is definitely haunted. I didn't notice that the first time, but look at that. I don't know what the hell that is.
As the GoPro arrives at the bottom, we can see what looks like a coyote or some type of dog laying on the ground. But as the camera turns to the left of the cave, for just a moment, Jason sees what looks like a human face staring directly into the camera. The host believed to lead into an abandoned mine. So did Jason capture a body down there? Or is this something else like pareidolia in a dark place? Let me know what you think.
I mean, we got to do better than a camera on a stick on some string. I mean, I need better visuals. You can see something, but we're at the age now. You could probably send a drone down there or something like that. I don't know. They got to do a little bit better. Let me know what you think.
Your suffering in this life is directly proportional to your desire for reality to be different than it is. The Buddha said that the way he reached enlightenment was by getting rid of his desires. And people often think that that means that he eliminated all his human desires for power, intimacy, money, and so on. But what he truly let go of was the desire for reality to match his expectations. So instead, he embraced life exactly as it is, and especially in the moments that are painful and hard. So the true sign of spiritual progression is your willingness to experience everything that happens to you without resistance.
Yeah, that's facts. The quickest way through any situation is just accepting it. Anything else is going to just hold you back and delay you.
More religious, the less educated, and the poorer, the higher the birth rate. Yeah. Low on the religion, high on education, and high on income, that has the lowest birth rate by far.
If he didn't understand what he was saying, he's just giving statistics. He's not giving an opinion.
Girl, that octopus is trying to kill you, okay? In case you have not seen,
all of these videos coming out of the San Antonio Interactive Aquarium, there is a girl who keeps coming on this app and she keeps putting her arm, and she works there, she keeps putting her arm in the octopus tank to show how safe it is for kids, for toddlers to come. And that octopus is trying to take her inside. That octopus is 20,000 leagues under the seeing that bitch. And she's like laughing and it's like, you know, she's poisonous. She could bite me if she really wanted to. But come with your kids. Come with your family. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen, which is why I was like, oh, immediate follow. I need to know what's going on here. But literally, you're watching a grown adult fight this thing off, and it is a huge octopus. The next headline we're going to read about this place is it's like octopus kills bird, and they're going to be like, wow, that's crazy. And then it'll be like octopus kills 85-year-old woman by jumping out and getting on her face. Go watch the videos. Hopefully the search is right here, because literally it's the most wild thing I've ever seen in my life. Peeling tentacles, peeling all this.
Do you think the CIA knew you were coming here today?
I think the CIA knew we were coming on Diary of a CEO, and I think they knew that we were going to talk to you about our book.
How do you think they knew that?
Because we know that CIA, as well as other intelligence services, as an example, the United Arab Emirates, we know that they have a dedicated person that sits in their office that watches us.
So how would they know you were coming here today?
Our emails, our emails, our publishers' emails, our own text messages back and forth, listening in on phone calls, any number of things could have happened. We've tried to have a very collaborative relationship with CIA about this book, because we know how scared they are. We know how nervous this book makes them. So we're trying to be extra collaborative to give them peace of mind, like, hey, we're not about to go out there and tell the world that you're a bunch of animals and terrible anything. They've actually read the book multiple times, and still they're afraid that we're going to somehow make them look bad, because so many other officers have come out to become authors who make CIA look bad.
Like I said, he's getting out of the country for a good reason.
What you think produces energy in the universe that, if you think it often enough and long enough, will actually produce a physical result in your life. Our second level of creation is our words. Your word is really a form of energy. You're actually producing energy in the room with what you say. And that energy is creative. You say something often enough, loudly enough, and I promise you it will come to pass. If two or more start saying the same thing, I assure you it will come to pass. And when a whole group of people start saying the same thing, it cannot help but come to pass. This is called group consciousness, and it's, by the way, why the world is the way it is.
Astral projection and remote viewing aren't about leaving your body. They're about shifting your perception. Dimensions aren't stacked like floors in a building. They're nested, each one higher containing the lower. The fourth dimension includes time and emotion. The fifth includes an awareness of the field itself, an understanding that we're all part of the same field and essentially one. The first step is understanding this conceptually and then feeling it. You're not traveling, you're expanding. When you astral project, you're accessing a different layer of the same structure, usually the fourth dimension, which holds memory, feeling, and the architecture of dreams. Remote viewing works similarly. You're tuning into a location or a moment beyond your physical one, because in higher dimensions, space and time aren't fixed. The key to accessing any of this is frequency. Your field has to resonate with a layer that you're trying to perceive. Coherence grants access. Distortion blocks it. So no, you're not floating around like a ghost. You're just tuning your signal to the structure of reality and learning how to see more of what's already there.
One of the coolest psychology facts I know is when you put your hand on your chest, it lights up the same part of your brain as when you get a hug. Leave it on there for a couple minutes and you'll start feeling more relaxed and peaceful.
I was shocked at the number of people in prison that were innocent.
Really?
Yeah. Because they stack these charges on you. They'll charge you with 20 felonies. And then at the end, when you're beaten down, they say, all right, we'll dismiss 19 of them if you take a guilty plea to the one. Do 5 years. What are you going to do? You're facing 300 years in prison. The feds win 98.2% of their cases, according to ProPublica. 98.2. So do you really want to roll those dice, knowing that you have a 1.8% chance of winning?
Whenever I see these statistics about going to prison or anything regarding prison, it always takes me back to the point when Tupac said, go around it, go over it, but don't get stuck in it. And he wasn't lying.
Don't you trust quiet people? The person who's talking is always divulging information, but the person who's quiet reserves
all of their information. Introverts learn over time that there's kind of some benefit. The trained individual who learns to keep their mouth shut, that's the person I don't trust. Solid eye contact, very active listening, like you right now.
What it's like to live with a hole in my hand. Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel and I was born with a congenital condition in my hand that resulted in a hole in my palm. And I know what you perverts are thinking. I don't do that, okay? Okay? Without fully developed tendons, I have limited movement in some fingers. I can't really articulate my pinky, my ring, and middle finger, but it doesn't stop me from trying to play the piano. I don't feel pain in the inner area, but it is a bit sensitive. For example, water dripping onto it tickles a lot. Generally, I have no social issues with it. It doesn't bother me if people get curious or ask about it. What else would you like to know?
These kind of clips that you realize, man, it's always somebody out there that got it worse than you.
My worst cases of possession was a Catholic guy, young guy, maybe 25-ish. And up in Nashville, he's out drinking, the bars are closing, and he says to his buddies, let's go get some drugs. And the guy goes, oh, I know a place. So they go to this house in a neighborhood at like 2 a.m. Think about this. You're knocking on somebody's door at 2 a.m. Like, you got to be thinking, this is a little crazy. Mm-hmm. Who does that? And they open the door, they come in, and it's lit by candle, and there's upside down crucifixes and pentagrams around on the walls. And I said to this young man, when I'm interviewing, I go, like, what happened to your spidey senses? Like, nothing went off when you saw this stuff? He's like, I just wanted the drugs. So he gets some, I think it was crack. As soon as he smoked it, he felt the demon enter him. And that was the beginning of about a 6-month ordeal to get it out. And he knows it happened from the drug, because the drug probably had a curse on it.
Interesting.
To attach demons to it. So if you're buying... Well, I would have said years ago, if you're buying stuff off the street, you don't know what you're getting, truly, both in the natural and supernatural.
I mean, I would even go as far as to say is a lot of these harder drugs are slowly deleting your soul. That's why we see these zombies out here, slowly but surely there's nothing left but just a shell of a person just mobbing around doing God knows what.
Let me remind you that the inland taipan is the most venomous danger noodle on planet Earth, even recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records. Inside that creepy little body is enough venom to take out 100 full-grown adult humans, or 250,000 mice. But not only do they have the most potent venom on Earth, they also have the most complex venom on Earth. It's not a neurotoxin, it's not a hemotoxin, it's not a myotoxin, it's all of them combined. And their venom contains an enzyme that pushes the venom through your body faster. If you get bit by one of these, you have less than an hour before you find out what the pearly gates look like. That's what I call a nope rope.
There's no paper trail for the man that we supposedly think was Shakespeare. In his 25-year career in London, where he would have been a cross between Tom Cruise, Spielberg, and J.K. Rowling, all rolled into one, writer, director, producer, actor, no one ever saw him. No one ever ran into him in the pub. Oh, he was writing a thing from Macbeth last night. The man never wrote a letter to anyone. There are no manuscripts exist of all his works, 36 plays, 154 sonnets, and 6 epic poems. They don't exist anywhere. And I thought, wow, what a story. But the deeper I got into it, I realized, there's a real deeper mystery here. And I started to be able to understand codes that were hidden in his gravestone, in his monument, in the sonnets, in the plays. And to say that sounds sort of flip, but if you're a jazz pianist and you're used to improvising, which I am, I'm a classically trained pianist, you're doing pattern recognition in real time. It's like coding and decoding at the same time live. So I had an ability there that was, because of my training in jazz. And I found I was reading these codes and going, that pattern's there, and it's there, and it's there, and it's there.
The spider is in the final stages of the mind-controlling cordyceps fungal infection. The fungus takes over its body and forces it to climb, so it can release spores and infect the next victim.
I don't want to sound negative or whatnot, but what's good with the devil? What does that mean?
Well, the devil is like, I'm not what people think. Like, he's like, people come to me, but I don't go to people. Like, devil's not like, oh, I'm gonna tap on you and like possess you. Devil's like, I don't do that. So the stereotype about the devil is not true. Devil's like, people come to me and they ask me for things, but I'm gonna get something from you. If you want to say, I want to manifest $50 million from the devil, and the devil's like, okay, I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm gonna get your ass in a car accident to get you that $50 million.
It's like to sell your soul thought.
Yeah, basically.
Where's the devil? Is hell real?
I don't think hell's real. No. Devil's on a different, like,
in his own realm.
It's a different dimension, different frequency.
Yeah.
Why is he even exist? Why? Obviously, know the story, I guess, but why? What is he doing? Is it a he?
Yeah, Devil's it's a he.
It's always a man, damn it. Can we get back to Jesus?
Yeah, sure. The homie.
Okay, so you all met Jesus. Tell me, I need to hear more about that. What? All three of you?
Yeah.
At the same time?
He was like, you guys need to get it together. He's like, you guys are a mess. You guys need to wake up. He was just so disappointed that humans are.
He sounds like nonchalant. Sounds like he's from Beverly Hills.
He was very like, get it together, you guys.
But it's from love.
Yeah, he's just saying
we could do better as a society, but we're not.
Why do you think he came through? Was that intentional or just happened?
No, we did a reading. Someone asked us to do a
Oh,
reading.
sorry. Someone said, "What's up with Jesus?"
Yeah.
And you can just tap into him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we work with him also without.
Hey, Jesus.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's good,
that's
man?
What we did, though. No, that's how we do.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesus.
Yeah, but he's always with us like all the time. Like when I work with clients or healing work and stuff, and he's right there, and he's just like, "All right, give this message to them."
Have you ever connected with him and just asked him to verify the resurrection and the stone? Like how the hell he got out of there?
Oh, we had. Did we do that? I don't know.
I think we did.
I think we did.
And I think another psychic said this. I think it was Sylvia Brown said that he took an hallucinogenic, that he really didn't die, that he was really under some like hallucinogenic.
That's why I think mushrooms in the Bible are.
Someone said that, but when we
sure.
did the reading on that, I think we got the same thing too. Like he took a hallucinogenic, and that's how he came out. But people think he died, but he wasn't dead. He was in like a drug-induced coma.
Wait, so Jesus was tripping balls when he was getting crucified?
Now, when I start to hear people talk about what they think, I always just take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? What you think is not important. I want to know what the facts are. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, though.
Blinded herself on purpose because she felt it was her lifelong dream to be blind. But how she did it is terrifying. Jules Chupian has a rare condition called body integrity identity disorder, which causes your brain to feel like a part of your body just doesn't belong. Typically, those with this disorder end up amputating an arm or a leg, but for Jewel, it was her eyes that she felt didn't belong, even though they were perfectly healthy. So when she turned 20, she decided to contact a psychologist she found online, who was willing to help in the worst possible way. Instead of talking her out of it, they talked her into it. They first numbed her eyes, then poured drain cleaner in them, and over the next 6 months, her vision completely disappeared. But does she regret that choice? Well, for a long time the answer was no, but more recently she believes a psychologist brainwashed her while she was in a very poor mental state and does regret her decision.
Are they now? The girl who relives the same day every single day. This is Riley Horner, and in 2019 she went to a concert where she was hit in the head by a crowd surfer and suffered multiple concussions and seizures. The doctors said everything in her brain was fine, but her parents were stunned when she woke up the next day and thought it was the day prior, and the cycle continued from there for more than 6 months. Every day she woke up thinking it was June 11th, with her memory being completely wiped every 2 hours. This made driving, school, and making friends nearly impossible. Her parents were so frustrated with the process and doctors not being able to help her.
From her elbow to the tips of her hand, or they was just going like this. This is horrible. This is torture.
So they went to a treatment center in Utah that specializes in head trauma and found multiple issues in her brain that previous doctors missed. Now that the new doctors knew what was wrong with her, they were able to treat her as time progressed. As of today, Riley has made a complete recovery and is now a registered emergency room nurse, graduating from Bradley University in 2024. She can now create new memories after her treatment, but she still can't remember certain events from the past.
Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood, but the reason why will blow your mind. 2 hearts pump blue blood to their gills, while the third pumps blood to the rest of their body. But here's the crazy part. When an octopus swims, its main heart completely stops beating. That's right, every time they swim, they're basically holding their breath and risking their life. This is why octopuses prefer to crawl along the ocean floor instead of swimming around. Their blue blood uses copper instead of iron, which makes them terrible at carrying oxygen. So they've evolved with 3 hearts to compensate for their inefficient blood system. Nature really said, let's give them 3 hearts, but make swimming nearly impossible, and somehow it worked.
Y'all ever wonder what happened to B.O.B., the rapper who was known in the mid-2000s? He was really big around that time, and out of nowhere, he went on a big hiatus, and he came out exposing the industry. He spoke on the flat earth theory and many other theories, and people began to even call him crazy.
The English language is full of curses and spells, hence why we learn how to write in cursive and how to spell in grade school. Each week, we wake in the morning to go to our jobs, on the weekdays to earn a living. Awake is a funeral for the dead. Mourning is what you do when you lose a loved one. You have to be in a weekdays to earn a living, since earn are ashes for the dead. Job is Hebrew for persecution. At the end of this, you get the weak end of the deal, and we're weakened.
Now, I don't watch his Insta stories, so I don't know if he still speaks on it or not, but his Instagram looks a little interesting to me these days. Now, we have Chris Brown, who just posted something really interesting on his Insta story, talking about the government and this whole UFO disclosure situation. He said only believe about 50-50 of what they tell you, because the truth is they have advanced technology for years that we don't even know about. Now, we got to give Chris his props, because even though he's been through a lot in the industry, he continues to spread awareness and truth about what's really going on. But in my opinion, he does need to be careful, because we all remember what happened the last time that he spoke out.
Now, B.O.B. is definitely an interesting case. You know, I watched him go from the beginning to extremely successful. And I think, just in my opinion, that he got that bag, like he got super rich and he just was like, hey, I'm going to live my life. I think that's the case. But he did talk about like clones and all type of stuff, so you just really never know.
Brain scientists finally discovered the glue that makes memory stick for a lifetime. A long-running research endeavor reveals a key chemical component that helps cement memories in place and challenges previous research in a way that I'm going to try my best to summarize, but we're about to get into some biochemistry here. Absolutely love this image of a neuron, though. This is probably one of the most accurate neuron images I have ever seen. It even includes all the receptors on both ends. So very, very fun. So the persistence of long-term memory is core to our identity, and one of the things that they discovered in the 1970s was something called LTP, or long-term potentiation, which kind of just indicates the synaptic strength has increased in order to maintain a memory. So in search of molecules that enable LTP, the two main contenders are PKM-zeta, or protein kinase M-zeta, and then there's also another one we'll talk about a little bit later down here called KEBRA, which is kidney and brain expressed adapter protein. Now, we've known for a long time that PKM-zeta is very important for forming memories, but it's a short-lived molecule.
How strong is your intuition today? Let's test it. I've got a certain number of blue glass beads in my hand. Let's see if you can pick up on that number with your intuition. Set the intention to receive this number with clarity and ease. Next, drop your awareness down into your body, feeling into your heart center. Instead of thinking about what number it is, let yourself feel it now. Let it just come to you, feeling it in your body. Okay, let's see how you did.
Hey, I actually got that one right, like off top. I knew it was 5. I had to have been 5. Let me know what you got down in the comments though. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button. Smash that hype button, man. We got to get this video and this channel deeper in that algorithm. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.